In my never-ending quest to get a wheelchair that fits me properly, I've realized that all the stuff that's going on at the forefront, I'm probably going to be without a chair that fits me for a number of months. Apparently a loaner is out of the question because Rona, and also it would cost them money to get a chair together that has the seating on it that I need. Anyways, all that stuff aside, we're going to try and retrofit the F3 again. I've got a seat back out here that I used, I think it originally came on my old Amy Systems chair from like 6 or 7 years ago. And we're gonna try and pull the back off of the F3 and see if I can make this seat back compatible. Now, it's not gonna be 100% perfect, and I'm not gonna have the lateral support that I need. I just need something that I can comfortably sit in, even if it doesn't like hold me in place necessarily. So we're gonna try and make something work here. By the way, I found a new YouTube channel I like. He's called The Millennial Farmer. He basically just does like a bunch of farming videos and vlogs his daily life and all the busyness that's involved with running a farm. But yeah, I'll put a link down below for that. I don't know, I'm always trying to find interesting things to watch, and it makes a really good background noise if you just want a long playlist in the background. All right, I'm gonna level with you. This is another one of the projects that I already started. I got partway through it and I was like, oh, maybe I should film this. So I'm backtracking a little bit to show you what I did. Here we have an F3. This is the one that basically came from a dumpster, and it was basically just the power base when I got it. All these seating parts and everything that are on here came from other parts and stuff that I had laying around. But we've got this medium tall backrest on it, and all of the associated stock permobil hardware here on the back. So what we're gonna do is pull all of that seating off. We're gonna take off this section here that's really tall, and then there's a backer plate back there. I'm gonna try and modify that backer plate to fit this backrest here. Now, this is a backrest that originally came on an old Amy Systems chair. Currently, right now, it has rear canes on it that were from, where is it at? That were from the Quantum 6000Z over here, before I swapped the seating again on that. I think we're gonna be able to modify this to fit on the permobil seat back. Now, again, I've already done part of this. The bracket's already taken off, and this thing has already been removed. This is sort of a like fiberglass plastic type material. It's got some plugs here that are designed for mounting a headrest on. Not the best recommendation since this is plastic. But originally the way this thing was mounted, it had these little brackets like this on here, and then these would attach to the vertical canes. What we're working with here is these 4 slots. There's 2 on each side of this thing. And I think we might be able to, I know we're able to, but we might be able to modify the permobil seat back to interface with these. So we're gonna rip this fabric off of here. And then we'll get this seat frame out of the way, which I detached earlier. Then we're gonna rip the backrest off this permobil. Again, all the bolts and everything are already removed. This is actually just barely sitting on here. And my thought was to just modify this backer plate to integrate with that thing. If we hold the two of these together in a weird little sandwich, you can see the curve of these is actually pretty similar. So what I wound up doing was laying these two together, flipping it over, and then using a Sharpie to draw lines inside of each of these slots here on the back of this. And then I use those lines to go ahead and drill some extra holes. Now it looks kind of funky because I had to re-drill a couple of them, but you can see we've got, these are the stock holes here. The side of the permobil mount attaches to those. But I drilled this hole, and these two here. So now, when we lay these things together, if you look real close through these slots, you'll see we have a couple of holes that line up. And they slide. so we can adjust our height. And the bottom ones, you probably can't see, but same deal there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this hardware back in here, and then we're gonna work on assembling this. Okay, we have a thing. We've got a permobil backer plate with some sort of weird branded aftermarket backrest on it. And look, it's adjustable. Sort of. Fingers. If you look down in here, we've got just enough clearance for those pegs that go on the back of the permobil seat back mounting rig to actually have some clearance in there. You can see we've got just a little bit of a gap here. And also on the bottom of these permobiles, there's this hole right here, and this little thumb nut goes in there and that holds everything together from the inside. But luckily, it's adjustable. Mostly. So we'll be able to just barely squeeze this thing in here and get the thing attached to the chair. So let's go ahead and attach this. Now the last trick in this puzzle is going to be trying to get this little nut in here. And while this does adjust up and down a little bit, I might actually have to remove a couple of the nuts. Actually, maybe I can flex this out of the way. Actually, are we even lined up all the way? Oh, where's my flashlight? One of our hooks isn't quite on there yet. The hole's down here. I guess I could have assembled this after I got it on here. Probably would have made things a little bit easier. Okay, much screwing around later. I do believe we're actually hooked now. Let me verify. Yep, we're good to go. Now, we can get this guy in here. You should be able to get a few turns out of it. Yeah, that's better. All right. Okay. That is looking outstanding. All right, tired. And the best part about this setup is on the screen it looks a little weird. We've got some foam here that I used to have lights on we'll have to remove, but it doesn't look that bad from the back. Usually stacking things together gives a really strange appearance. And we've got a little bit, of adjustability to this thing. I'll get the seat lift raised a little bit at the moment, but yeah. I'm gonna rest for a minute, and then I'm gonna find a cushion to throw in that thing and see if we can get adjusted. Oh, the other thing I wanna do, I need to get these ridiculously wide armrests off of here. See, the problem is these stick out quite a bit further than the wheels on each side, and the width of this thing is a little bit tricky inside the house. I'm gonna see if I can fit some other armrests onto here. If I can't, what I'll probably have to do is slide this metal bracket out here on each side and chop some of that off with a bandsaw. That's not necessarily a recommended thing, and we don't have a lot of clearance here. You can only chop these in about 3/4 inch segments. And if I recall, I think this side is stuck. This seating actually came off of a van that was, I think it was in some sort of accident. I bought, it was from the old C500 that's in there. I think it was, yeah, I got that from an auto auction in Utah somewhere. But, I mean, the seating was okay, but one of the caster arms on the back of that chair at the time, ew. Need some new caps back here. But one of the caster arms on that thing was screwed up. So I think some of the seating got a little bit tweaked, but I think we should be able to make something work at least. Ideally, I'd like to put armrests on that are more this style, but these are designed to mount on a round bar like that. If you look really close in here, see how the top of that is rounded and it fits over that bar? And the plates that are underneath these things are this middle flat part right here. So getting something with a bar mount on here might be a little bit tricky. But I don't think there's any reason I shouldn't be able to make something work on this. Now I'm hoping the proportions of this chair are going to be such that it will be comfortable. We do have a little bit of side bolstering on this thing, so we'll see. I'm gonna get the thing put together, get it adjusted, and then I'll check back in. Now that I'm looking at this thing, it reminds me of a chair that's designed for someone that's much larger than myself. I mean, I am a big guy, but like, that reminds me of like a sort of a lazy boy type arrangement, which hopefully results in comfort, if nothing else. Really gotta do something about those armrests though. Oh, actually, I've got other 3G seating permobil chairs in here. I think one of them has a really narrow armrest kit on it. Okay, one thing at a time. I'm gonna hop in it. So I just realized I'm kind of going down the rabbit hole here. I've got this light bulb. It's out of the light I use on the flag over there behind the TV. And it has this weird base on it. I don't think it's quite an E12 candelabra, but I don't think it's the intermediate appliance base Edison thing. So I had to pull up a chart here and, whoops. And apparently 0.47 versus 0.542 are the difference in width. So now I have to go out to the garage, get the calipers, and measure this thing. Who'd have thought that it would be so difficult to replace a light bulb? I feel like there's a joke in there somewhere. Oh, wait a minute. Where did that go? I feel like I have another one of those light fixtures. I was cleaning the garage. Oh yeah, by the way, I cleaned the garage. Might randomly be in that box right there, but access is kind of blocked. Oh, also, by the way, I'm not sitting in the forefront. I got the F3 going. I think we're beta testing it. More about that a little bit later. I'm using the dryer back there. I don't know if you can see it. Wait, forgot we can do this. Usually when I need to dry jeans, I use that thing because it's a little bit larger and jeans are a little bit heavier when they're wet, and I don't want to wear out the wall mount on the one that's in there. Plus, it heats the garage. Okay, so I was gonna grab the grabber stick that's up there to try and get that thing over there, but now this chair's in the way and it's charging. And I'm pretty sure if I move it, that back caster wheel's gonna flip around and knock over that 2x4, and I don't want to do that. So let's see here, what else do we have that I can use to... Ah, here we go. Oh, never mind. That's too heavy. I don't have the strength to hold on to that while it's sticking out. Ugh. You go over there. What else do we have? Yeah, move the wheelchair lifts and the shopping cart full of manual chair wheels. And this thing back here, which you can't really see, is a shelf full of motors. That thing's got to weigh like multiple hundreds of pounds. Wait, what is this? Likes the axle off of the Power Wheels truck. Or car, or whatever it is. Okay, there's a piece of PVC pipe. This is taking way too long. I'm hoping there's... Oh, and I forgot, I'm trying to order groceries at the same time, but I thought I would throw this light bulb order in. You know in those movies when someone throws a punch and there's a really large guy and he just starts laughing when you punch him? Oh, there's another grabber stick in the living room. Okay, before we do that, the reason we came out here, I've forgotten the measurements now. I think one of them was 0.47. You can't store the battery in these things, otherwise it goes dead. Okay, 0. Put it in inches. 0.636. That's not a valid number. Okay, let's take all this garbage inside. By the way, I'm having to relearn how to drive a chair that actually steers properly. So that's been a bit of a challenge. Okay. Oh, so it is an intermediate E17. This other graphic was wrong. Oh, that was C9. 0.642. 643, close enough for my work. Okay, so now we know it's an E17. Let's grab this grabber stick over here and see if we have one, or if I need to quick add it to my grocery order in the next 7 minutes before the cutoff. I guess it probably wouldn't hurt. Probably wouldn't hurt to just order more anyways. By the way, I was using the C300. This thing weighs about 97 pounds. I pushed it over here with the foot plates on the C300. Okay, so hopefully the friction between the bottom of this and the wheels on this thing is enough that, whatever. We're just gonna do one of these. If there was a light bulb in there, RIP light bulb. By the way, this is not a real battery. It's one of those dummy ones I used to play pranks on people with. Nope. No light bulbs in there. Most of that's garbage. I need to throw it away. I should probably put this grabber stick back before I forget where it goes. Head rush. Okay. Gotta make sure everything goes back where it belongs. This is a spotlight, and that is not. But I think having some light is better than no light. So, add to cart. I forgot all about the light. The groceries have been delivered. I've gotten everything put away, except for this bag here, which I'm hoping contains a light bulb. So we've got chili mix, pork rinds. Ah, there we go. 140 watt GE something or other. Looked a lot bigger in the picture, but it's actually good that it's small. Yeah, I think that'll work. Let me slither back there and get that bulb replaced real quick. Oh wait, I think this is, yeah, hang on. This is one of those times where I'm pretty sure you're supposed to do the snap thing and then it magically gets fixed. I can't snap. I'm just gonna clap. I'll probably edit that so it looks like I failed at doing it properly just because it's funnier that way. But look, we have light now. 2 functions, by the way. It illuminates the flag, and also it provides some light behind the television. When you're light sensitive like me, staring at a bright thing on a black background is bad. So having a little bit of light is good. Okay, I think we have a viable solution here. I'm sitting in the steampunk chair at the moment, which, by the way, we're gonna do some more stuff with this soon. We're gonna go a lot more steampunk with this, including copper and diamond plate and some other things, but yeah. So check out the F3. I used this thing part of last night, and I've been using it this morning. I think we might have gotten a combination of seating and backrests and seat depth and everything that works for me. Now, I don't know long term if this is going to be something I can use, but at least for now, while the forefront goes in for repair again, how do I explain the forefront? Well, we'll do that later. But here's what I'm happy about. It turns out I had parts in the garage to install these waterfall style armrests. Now, normally permobil has some version of these super wide ones, which on the F3 was kind of an issue. What I wound up doing is swapping off this back assembly here that the armrest used to attach to. If you notice here, this shiny metal part sticks out about, maybe another half an inch or so. And this part here was off of my second power chair ever. It's an old M300 that I have way back there in the corner. The seat lift on that one's broken, and the way the suspension is on that chair and the way things have kind of developed with my disability or whatever, I can't use it because the thing doesn't really have any suspension. So I didn't mind robbing a few parts off of it. And also, I had another chair. I think it was, it was a chair that was given to me by a viewer. It's one I have back here with a chin control setup on it. I'm going to be swapping the regular permobil armrests onto that chair that's back there. But see how wide these are? That chair came with all the bracketry and hardware, so we could install these round armrest mounts and then just put a standard armrest on here. Now, if we notice the difference here, one of these things is not like the others. So we've got a different backrest on here. It's mounted solidly now. That's all good to go. Which, incidentally, I found out I have another one of those. I didn't quite realize I was so flush with these plastic fiberglass backrests. So, nice to know I have a few of these things around. By the way, that probably weighs like 3 pounds. It's almost nothing. Which also, we've done quite a bit of weight reduction now, because we've gotten rid of the steel inner liner on this, which, gosh, that thing had to weigh at least 12 pounds or more, maybe pushing 15 pounds. And these things are fairly heavy as well. So yeah, I think we've got an arrangement here that might work. And it doesn't look too funky. That was the thing too, when you start modifying seating on permobiles, things get really weird in a hurry. And even though we're using these standoffs and things here, I had to chop this down a little bit so it would fit, but I think it actually looks okay. Now, there is one glitch with this setup. I'm going to have to make a different bracket here because, actually I've got one over here I can show you. Because the way these tubular bars are, you have to use a bracket like this to install the joystick. That's what this thing is. But see the offset on that? It mounts to the rail all the way up here, and then the bracket's all the way over here. So I'm gonna need one that's straight down. What I had to do as a result is basically mount everything much further left. And if you notice here, we have some interference, which means I cannot flip up this armrest right now. But that's fine. I normally transfer out of the left side of my chair, and this one flips up no problem. So I'm super excited that I had all the parts here in stock, and I didn't have to rob anything off of functioning chairs. Well, the one with the chain control's functioning, but I'm going to swap some of these parts back onto that because it didn't have armrests on it anyways, and I wanted to put some of that stuff back on there. But yeah, I did have to make the seating 2 inches longer on this, but what's funny about that is compared to the Quantum Forefront with its super long leg rests, this thing is a 1/4 inch shorter. Even though I've extended the depth 2 inches, it's a 1/4 inch shorter than the Forefront is. So I can still get around in the house just fine. It might be hard to see on camera, but our joystick mount and the swing away, see how the joystick is kind of off to the left, and it's kind of overhanging our wheel a little bit. So I will have to take care of that at some point. What I would like to do is move this thing over about 1/2 inch, and then move this mount in an entire inch. That way everything will line up, and we won't have this overhang anymore, and I'll be able to actually lift this up. But for now, it works pretty good. When I'm going through a door, I just have to pay attention to this right here, and as long as that doesn't hit the door frame, we're not going to hit the wheel. I'm going to keep using this thing. For now, the Forefront is going in for repair again on, well, next week sometime. Apparently going to have to keep it for a couple of days this time. And Yeah, again, I apologize. I can't really talk about the long-term solution on that right now. It's going to be probably another week or two before I can explain what's going on there. But the problem's going to be solved. It just won't be quick. And maybe you can extrapolate what's going on because I need a backup chair. Sorry, I hate doing stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, it's nice having a little bit more space here in this garage now. I'm going to have to attack the tool room over there. I think that's what I'm going to call it, because I've got the big racks in there with all the wheelchair parts and stuff on it. And then on the other side, we've got the dead row, as it was for wheelchairs. It's ones that don't currently power up and move on their own. I guess the chair with the head array works fine. It's back there. But anyways. So yeah, we're going to attack that room at some point, get stuff cleaned out there. And then I want to organize some of this so that I can get to the metalworking tools a little bit easier. But yeah, we're making progress in here. Finally getting moved in and things. Oh, I was about to go back inside. I need to hop into the F3 to do that. There we go, get this thing parked right here. Yeah, I'm gonna pull the footage off the camera, do a little bit of editing, and figure out what's going on next. Well, I've been using this chair now all day today and most of last night. I think it's gonna work out. It's, by the way, that sound you're hearing in the background here is the pin clock. Finally got this thing going again. The thing that's hard to explain, my disability is not really static. I am technically a quad, although I have really good hand function and arm function. It's hard to do things over shoulder height, then grip strength isn't the greatest. Thumbs work great, but I always qualify that because, yes, technically a quad, but I feel weird saying that when I know my function levels are not typical. But things very slowly change for me, and it's kind of an ongoing thing. And as things change, my needs change, the chairs I have to use have to adapt with that. And that's why, you know, the forefront has been good. The seating on it works great, but everything else is falling apart underneath that seating. So that's why I can't just hop into one of the 20-something chairs I have in the garage here. Everything's got to be just right. Autonomic dysreflexia basically rules my life, and that's what stops me from just jumping into any other chair that doesn't have good suspension. Now this F3, it does have decent suspension, but it's not on the level of the forefront, and it makes things a little bit tricky. So being on YouTube and all, I kind of have to explain these things because I can't expect that everyone has watched all of the back videos. But in my case, yes, I do have a garage full of wheelchairs. Again, this is another great example as to why I was able to pull parts off of 4 different chairs to get this one functioning. And it has a seat elevator, which is super handy. I didn't order that on the forefront originally. I'm glad I didn't, because it adds almost 80 pounds to the chair and a lot more mechanical complexity. Because on the eye-level systems that Quantum uses, they have mechanically actuated, well, they have cable actuated mechanical suspension lockouts. Now, I can't imagine if that chair had another 80 pounds on it and extra mechanical complexity. While it's not doing good to begin with, that definitely wouldn't have helped things. So anyways, I say all that to say, this chair is going to work for now. It's not ideal. I can at least sit in it, but I'm not going to be able to run around outside and go down bumpy sidewalks and things like that. It's a stopgap until I get things sorted out with that whole situation. But for now, it'll work. I'm happy. It's going to get the job done. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a few days.